I am a visual learner and Social Security gets confusing real quick, but it's not going to be that way today because I'm actually going to show you on my screen how it works, and I'm going to do it right now. So if I make myself smaller, you can see this is a case study that's going to show you how Social Security works, specifically spousal benefits. So here we have a couple, 58 and 57, and they have a 24-year-old child. Now, John worked for 35 years, meaning he is eligible for Social Security full benefits. Now, when I say full benefits, it gets confusing already. You're like, well, we're 10 seconds in and you already lost me. Trust me, it's going to be real simple today. John, when you have worked for 35 years, that means you're eligible for maximum earnings. But to really get the max earnings, you have to wait until age 70. However, if you knew you were going to pass away at 72, in this dire example, you probably would want to collect earlier so that even if you got a smaller amount, you got it for more years. Pretty simple. If you are a spouse, you have the option of turning on your own benefit, which could be zero if you did not ever work, or you can have half of your spouse's benefit who did work. Now, you don't just get half at any age. It's half of a maximum of their full retirement age benefit. Let me show you what that means. Okay, so check this out. So here's a couple. They've saved and invested well. They want to retire early. They want to optimize when they collect Social Security. They have $2.3 million. They own their home worth $1.4 million, and they have a $385,000 mortgage. To understand Social Security, we're going to go like this. So John, I'm going to keep it easy for you guys here. We're just going to use a simple estimate. I don't know John's exact benefit, but I'm going to assume he worked for 35 years. Okay, so you guys can do the same thing. If you'd prefer, you can literally go to the Social Security website and put in every single year how much you made and, have some fun doing that. But you can just say, I have my value, and you could say it's $3,000 a month, whatever you want. In this case, we're just going to assume a simple estimate. It's not going to be perfect. We just want to make sure that we're using some estimate here. So that's all I'm doing. I'm saying John's going to collect at 67. Not saying he should or shouldn't, just keeping it simple. Jane here, if I say no Social Security, it's going to assume that she doesn't get anything, which we don't want to do that because we want to get it. We just want to make sure we're planning correctly, if that makes sense. So hopefully that did. So if we were to put no Social Security, it will just assume that she never gets any benefit ever, which we don't want. We want half of the spouse who worked for 35 plus years. So we're going to go ahead and put based on her value at 0. If we put simple estimate, it's going to assume she worked for 35 years as well. And if we decide to put her earnings, it would just be 0 for all of this. So we could do that. But we're just going to keep it simple and say 0, and she's going to collect at 67 for her. So that's all I did. You can see it's pretty simple. Now I'm going to click retirement, and everything I'm showing you today, by the way, you guys can all do this on your own, literally in like 5 minutes if you wanted to. So now from retirement, ignore what their probability of success is and their financial strategy and what they're on track for. You can all do that later. If I click cash flows here, I can actually look inside of someone's retirement. You have to click cash flows and then click summary here. So this is their retirement. It doesn't look super sexy, but this is the reality. So here we are. John is working today. We're going to go from left to right. So John's working today. He makes $350,000 a year. There's no RMDs yet. Doesn't have to worry about that. $350 comes in the door. Really simple. He is spending $189,000 a year, and he's buying a new car this year. That's his goal. Plus, he's got to plan on taxes, so that means that there's basically a $16,000 deficit that needs to come from his portfolio so that he can do everything he wants this year. The following year, he gets a raise, and yada, yada. Now, you can see in 2027, there's no income. We only have expenses. Why? Because he's retired. We've got goals, so those goals are vacation, $26,000 a year, taxes, $280,000. That's what we're up against. We need $280,000 so that this couple can live their dream retirement. Now, if we scroll all the way down to here, 2034, that's when Social Security starts. So we can click in and we can see no more salary. Remember, salary was just here. Now it's Social Security. Click into there, and here's what we see. We see $56,000. That's John's benefit using the simple estimate if he collects at 67. He's a year older. Now, what you can see here is Jane, the spouse. Jane, she's eligible for half of John's spousal benefit. You can see here. So John gets a Social Security update. So every single year, there's an update based off of Social Security inflation. So now Jane is eligible for half of his amount, $29,171. So now we have $92,000 a year coming in. And you can see that raises over time. So guys, that's literally how it works. Here's where people go wrong. Let's go back here because hopefully you now understand, wow, that's how it works. Here's a few things that you need to know. Let's pretend John switched this to 70. Oh, now I'm getting real fancy with it, guys. Okay, I can already tell you nothing's going to change. I mean, things will change in terms of when he's going to collect, but her benefit won't change. Whoa, what the heck? I thought she gets half. If John, my husband, just worked so hard, John is 67 and he decides to collect, shouldn't he get more of a benefit if he waits till 70? Don't you get like a raise every single year that you delay? You do, but the spouse, she's only eligible in this example for half of age 67. She cannot get half of 68 or 69 or 70. What happens is if John passes away, whoa, John passes away, now Jane is eligible to start immediately collecting what John had at 70. So the reason a lot of people will delay until 70 is if you are, for example, you know you're in good health, or you don't know if you're in good health. Let's pretend you think you're in good health, and then you pass away at 80. Your spouse now gets that benefit for the rest of their life. So that's a reason people delay. Now, a reason people turn it on early is because they go, I want income. I want it to take pressure off my portfolio. I don't know how long Social Security is going to last. I paid into this thing for a while. So what we're going to do now is we're going to click Save on 70. So John now just moved to 70. Jane, we're keeping hers the same, okay? Nothing's changing with Jane. So she's like, I still want it at 67. Why won't my husband turn it on? I want him to turn it on. No one's ever said that with Social Security, but just an example here. Sometimes I try to keep it fun, and sometimes the jokes do not land, okay? So with that being said, we go back to cash flows. Why isn't Social Security turned on? Do you guys remember? Well, it's 70. 70 is when we can turn it on. We can turn it on earlier. 70 is when we chose to turn it on. And Jane, remember guys when she wanted it? 67. Well, why doesn't hers turn on at 67? Not eligible. She has to wait for John to start collecting. So John starts collecting and he's getting 76,000 a year. That's significant. Jane's getting 30,000. Why 30? That's not half. Only half of John's full retirement age benefit. So that's where people go wrong. Honestly, this should summarize Social Security for you, and I hope after this video you're like, I'm clear. If I just cleared it up for you, let me know in the comments below. You can also go into Social Security, do some more fun testing. The software will calculate the optimum strategy for you, age 70, full retirement age as early as possible. Don't rely on the numbers that come out here because it sometimes will look way more rosy, but it depends on when you want to pass away. Do you have legacy goals? What about estate planning? What about healthcare? What about taxes? So by no means am I saying go rely on this, but look, you can use it to say, what if I collect early or full retirement age or age 70? So my goal is to make it so that you're clear. Today is just the rules. Now you need to go optimize. I have tons of videos on how to do that, but if you are interested in working with us because we specialize in this, you have a few options. Option 1 is get the software, go play around with the tool. Option 2 is reach out to work with us directly at Root, where we do all of this for you and we walk you through how to connect all the dots, retirement, Social Security, insurance, taxes, estate planning, investing, you name it. It's what we love to do. I encourage you guys to reach out, and I'll see you guys next time.